For 20 years, real estate agents, HGTV, and every home renovation show told you the same thing: tear down the walls. Open concept is king. Bigger, brighter, more open, always better. In 2026, homeowners are quietly doing the opposite. They're putting walls back. Not all the way back, but back. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the open floor plan era is ending, what's replacing it, and why this new layout might actually be smarter than the one you're currently living in. Stick with me, because the final section is the one thing almost nobody explains properly, and it explains why this trend isn't just aesthetic, it's about how we actually live now. If you're even a little bit obsessed with home design like I am, subscribe now, because I'm covering exactly what this new layout looks like, what it costs to create, and whether you should actually retrofit your own open concept home. Let's get into it. Let's be honest about where open concept came from. For the better part of 2 decades, tearing down walls between the kitchen, dining room, and living room was the single most requested renovation in America. It made small homes feel bigger, let natural light travel further, and kept everyone together. Parents cooking while watching kids do homework, guests mingling while dinner got made. But in 2026, something is shifting. Homeowners and designers are increasingly moving away from those vast, wall-free layouts and towards something more intentional. It's not a return to old school, boxed-in rooms with doors on every wall. It's a new hybrid. Designers are calling it the broken floor plan, or sometimes broken concept design. Here's the simplest way to think about it. A broken floor plan bridges the gap between a fully open layout and a fully closed one. Instead of knocking down every wall or building rigid separate rooms, designers use subtler architectural tools: internal windows, changes in floor level, half walls, wide arches, shifts in ceiling height, built-in shelving, sliding panels, and textured screens to gently define zones without shutting them off completely. One interior designer described it perfectly. This approach uses details like internal windows, floor-level changes, and subtle ceiling or trim work to create distinct zones, so each area feels unique while the whole home still flows together. The result is a home that still feels connected and light-filled, but one that also offers real pockets of privacy and purpose, instead of one enormous room trying to serve 5 different functions at once. This isn't just a trend for trend's sake. There's a real, lived-in reason behind it, and it traces back to how dramatically home life changed over the last several years. Since remote work and hybrid schedules became normal, people are taking calls from home, kids are doing homework in shared spaces, and not every moment of the day needs to happen in the same visual and acoustic space. One New York-based designer put it simply: households genuinely need rooms that support both living and working without everything bleeding into everything else. Privacy inside the home is being valued more than it was a decade ago. And there's another factor driving this. Multigenerational living is on the rise, with more households including grandparents, adult children, or extended family under one roof. When you've got 3 generations sharing a home, one giant undivided room stops making practical sense. People need somewhere quiet to work, somewhere separate to relax, and somewhere to escape the noise of a busy kitchen. Let's talk honestly about what open concept homeowners actually complain about, because this explains the shift better than any design trend report. Noise is the #1 issue. In a fully open layout, a blender in the kitchen, a TV in the living room, and a phone call at the dining table all compete in the same acoustic space. There's nothing to absorb or block sound between zones. Clutter is another one. Without walls, mess in one zone is visible from every other zone, because there's no visual boundary to contain it. And then there's the lack of privacy. Anyone cooking, working, or relaxing is essentially always on display to everyone else in the house. None of these are deal breakers for every household, but for a growing number of homeowners in 2026, they're common enough that fully open concept has started to feel less like freedom and more like a compromise nobody actually asked for. So how do designers actually pull this off without making a home feel chopped up and dated? A few go-to techniques keep showing up again and again in 2026 builds and remodels. Ceiling changes are one of the most popular. In one real example, a designer used an A-frame ceiling detail specifically to help section off the living space from the kitchen. No wall required, just a shift in the ceiling geometry that your brain reads as this is a different zone. Counter and cabinetry placement is another. Positioning a kitchen counter so it partially separates the dining area from the kitchen creates a sense of division, even though technically nothing is blocking the space. It just feels separated. Architects are also using partial walls, changes in floor level, double-sided fireplaces positioned between two rooms, and distinct lighting zones. Different fixtures and brightness levels signaling to your brain, this is the reading corner versus this is the dinner table, all without a single door being installed. And for genuinely bold design moments, some designers are even incorporating architectural features like a tunnel-style passage between rooms, creating a dramatic, almost gallery-like transition point instead of just an open gap in a wall. It sounds unconventional, but it turns what used to be just an opening into an actual design feature worth noticing. Here's the honest, balanced answer, because I'm not going to tell you open concept is dead and broken plan is perfect. That's not how design trends actually work. Fully open layouts still genuinely appeal to buyers who prioritize flexibility and visual space, and they typically attract strong buyer interest because they align with what the market has expected for years. Closed layouts still appeal to buyers who prioritize quiet and clearly defined function. The real insight for 2026 is that neither extreme is perfect for every household, which is exactly why the market is moving toward this hybrid middle ground instead of picking a side. The evolution here isn't really about aesthetics at all. It's about functionality. Modern buyers expect their homes to support flexible living, remote work, energy efficiency, and long-term usability, not force them to adapt their entire lifestyle around a rigid layout decided a decade ago. This is the part everyone actually wants to know, and the good news is, yes, and it's often surprisingly affordable compared to a full renovation. If you're currently living in a fully open floor plan and want to shift toward a broken plan feel, you don't need to rebuild walls from scratch or gut your kitchen. Some of the most effective changes are things like adding a half wall or a built-in shelving unit to define a boundary, using furniture placement strategically as a soft divider, installing a sliding panel or screen you can open or close depending on the moment, or simply changing lighting zones so each area has its own distinct character. Even something as simple as a ceiling detail or a change in flooring material between zones can trick the eye into perceiving separate spaces without touching a single load-bearing wall. It's a genuinely low-cost, high-impact way to modernize a home that already has good bones but feels a little too one giant room for how you actually live now. If you're planning to sell a home in the next few years, this trend actually matters for your resale value, not just your personal comfort. Real estate professionals are increasingly flagging broken floor plans as the layout buyers will specifically be looking for going forward, a shift away from the assumption that the more open, the better that dominated listings for the last 2 decades. If your current home is fully open and you're planning to sell, even small broken plan touches, a ceiling detail, a strategic built-in, a half wall, can make your layout feel more aligned with what today's buyers are actually asking for. And if you're building new, this is genuinely one of the easiest trends to build in from day one, because it doesn't require choosing between two extremes. You can design the openness and light you want, while planning in the subtle architectural zoning that makes a home feel considered rather than just big. So here's the honest conclusion. The open floor plan isn't disappearing. Kitchens are still flowing into living rooms. Natural light is still traveling across big shared spaces, and that sense of connection is still exactly what most people want in a home. What's changing is the assumption that open has to mean undivided. In 2026, the smartest layouts are borrowing the best of both worlds, the light and flow of open concept combined with the comfort, privacy, and function of defined rooms. It's not about tearing down walls or building them back up. It's about being intentional with the in-between. If this gave you a completely new way to look at your own floor plan, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who are thinking about their next renovation or build. And I want to know, does your home lean fully open, fully closed, or is it already somewhere in between? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you want to see real before and after examples of open concept homes that got the broken plan treatment, I've got that video linked right here. You'll want to see exactly how small these changes can be while making a massive difference. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.